Need a fun free indoor activity? Well, the Contemporary Arts Museum has you covered with its new exhibition, Out of Stock. This inspiring exhibit features work from Houston teens and was curated and created by CAM's 14th Teen Council. The artwork really makes you think and reflect on big ideas like consumerism and identity. Out of Stock is made by teens, but everyone will enjoy it. The exhibit is running now until October 19th, so head to camh.org to learn more. And don't forget, CAM is always free. I'll see you there. Today on CityCast Houston, I love raising a family in H-Town, but it's not the best city to find that special someone. Dating in Houston is hard. So I'm bringing on two of my single friends to talk about a new trend that might be changing up the dating scene. It's Thursday, September 11th. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. I've got Hey Houston newsletter editor Brooke Lewis here with me. What's up, Brooke?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. And Houston influencer and a good friend of ours on CityCast Houston, and my personal friend as well, Shawn the Food Sheep is here. What's up, man?
Hey, Raheel. Good to see you again.
I am so excited to learn about this from y'all because I saw this study by Wallet Hub that found that Houston is ranked 33 out of 182 cities. When it comes to dating for singles, y'all are in this dating scene right now. What unique Houston challenges are y'all facing?
Yeah, I think Houston is just so big. And I think for me, one of the main dating challenges is not that you can't find people to meet in Houston because it's such a big city. There's always new people to meet. But if you're looking for something serious, I think it can be hard to find someone that aligns with you that's looking for something long term.
I think right now, and this is something that's happening across the country, not just Houston, but you're just having the dating apps, right? Like this illusion of choice. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you can match with somebody and have 9 out of your 10 preferences, everything just kind of be there. But I think everybody in their mind is going, okay, but I can find that perfect person. So it's kind of like constantly swiping on that. So I think that's one issue that Houston is dealing with. I mean, it's a complaint that you kind of hear all the time with dating apps.
But dating apps have been around for over a decade. When did y'all start noticing this change?
I don't know. I feel like in the last few years, maybe since the pandemic, there's kind of just been more complaints, like not only for me, but I hear it among my friends. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a never-ending conversation, like having a never-ending pen pal on a dating app and just not a lot of people wanting to actually meet up in person, which you would think is kind of crazy because it's a dating app where that's like the sole purpose is to go on dates. But I have endless stories and I have friends that have endless stories of just like, I've been talking to this guy for a long time and he's not asked me out on a date. It's like, okay, at that point, I'm exiting out of the conversation.
Oh, man. And then when you do try to plan that meetup, as you mentioned, like the distance is so far that maybe that is a hurdle as well. Shawn, what about you? When did you start noticing this change in Houston?
I'm going to give a specific month because I think I did see this happen. So I don't know if you remember in March when there was this massive rise in these Beats and Brews events. So every morning people would like go out to coffee shops and just go to these DJ hangouts and party. And I think that's when you started to seeing this craving in Houston for a lot more in-person interaction, for a lot more in-person events. Mm-hmm. Like you can look at it from March. You can just like watch all the TikTok videos from April, May, June, July, and you just see this like rise of, more and more in-person events.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I know you've been going out and joining more in real life events, IRL events, and that has been one of the cool things to watch on your social media. Like you're going out there, you're putting yourself out there. And I'm not sure, and maybe you can answer this, it's not just for the sole purpose of meeting someone, but that connection with fellow Houstonians has been fun to see.
It is really fun to see, right? Because I think, especially with Gen Z, one thing that I always like to point out to people with Gen Z especially is that they're drinking less than ever. I mean, compared to millennials, compared to Gen X, it's just, they are just not drinking. And I consider myself like Gen Z / millennial. I'm kind of in that like mixed group. But I think there's been this real opportunity to create more socialization around events that are not just related to drinking. And I think this year, you're finally starting to see people capitalize on it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I also think people are craving community more since the pandemic. Like I would say that's why there's more in-person events. I think people just have gotten to the point of like, I'm tired of swiping, I'm tired of having conversations on my phone. Like I really want to go back to the basics of just connecting with people human to human, even if it's not for a romantic connection, just to make a new friend, just to kind of be out and about. And so I think that makes a lot of sense that there's so many more IRL events and people are actually making friends and connecting through them.
Okay, so let's give some of these events and some of these clubs or activities that people can do, singles, right? Shawn, give me a recommendation.
So I'm going to give you two, Rio. One, I'm going to give like a personal shout out to Houston Hotspots. So I don't know if you know who Houston Hotspots is,
I
Raheel.
do. They're great.
Yeah.
Marissa's awesome. So she's one of the largest influencers in Houston, and essentially what she's done is now she's launched an event company where basically she's just doing events like every week. I'm talking like think cocktails and cardio, think dating events, and it's almost like she's kind of filling this gap that I think a lot of people have just wanted, and she's just been throwing these events every week and they've been selling out. People are willing to pay for this kind of connection, and I would recommend it. I've been to a couple events myself, but I just want to give a shout out to her. And then the second one is I've never been to this event. I really wanted to go before this podcast, but it's called Crush Club. I don't know
Yes.
if y'all see this on TikTok, but I give them credit for catalyzing the dating event storm that we're having in Houston. In July, it was just a group of friends. They were just making TikToks of like asking people, hey, do people want like a walking event for dating? And I remember when they launched this at the end of July, they had their first event. They had like 1,000 people show up to the park just for this
What?
dating event. Yeah.
At MKT. Yes. Just people who wanted to meet people.
That
Yes.
is really cool to hear. 1,000 people showed up to the MKT trail in the Heights and they just wanted to walk and meet people and get to know others. That's such a cool way to meet, because back in my day, it was you would just go to Memorial Park and you weren't sure like who's going to be there, right? You're just trying to get your workout in. Maybe you meet somebody, but the fact that this is organized makes it even better. That is phenomenal.
I mean, it was wild. You can see, and like there was entire like people reviewing the event on TikTok, and you know I give them a lot of credit because you know it was the first time hosting that event. So like I think they learned a lot from that. So their events now going forward have a lot more nuance. But man, I give them full credit because man, just seeing those TikToks of like 1,000 people literally showing up to that walk, and then just so many people reviewing it afterwards, I think was really fun to see in real time.
Yeah, I was going to also shout out Crush Club because I just thought it was such a cool idea. And it also really showed that there was a huge need for it in Houston, just the turnout. And now it looks like they're not even just doing just the walking club. I saw that they had a social last month and it was just like a social for singles. And they even went on TikTok and said, okay, here's the age range that showed up. Like this, is how many people in their 20s showed up. This, is how many people in their early 30s. This, is how many people 35 and up. So you kind of get an idea before you even go, like what's the scene. And they're going to keep having events. So it just shows that there's a huge need. Will also shout out
Nice.
this other content creator, Kenya. She'll be linked in our show notes, but she's someone also who just moved to Houston and was just like talking on TikTok, just like, hey guys, it's really hard for me to meet people. Where are all the single people? And she herself took it upon herself to just create a meetup. And I'm talking like a large number of people showed up at one of her events, but follow her because she's now just doing events for singles in Houston and she's new to the city. So she just like took it upon herself to help people match make. And so I think people are just being really inventive and kind of like just tired of that. I think even for me personally, I'm tired of that like loop conversation of like, it's hard to meet people. It's hard to meet people. Let's just like make solutions to the
Yeah,
problem and make it
so
easier
important.
for people to connect.
Brooke, have you attended any of these?
I haven't. I might go to Crush Club, you guys. I might, and you might hear about it in the newsletter.
Okay.
Whenever that popped up, I was like, that would actually be really fun to go to. And I love going to MKT, but it was just like a time that I couldn't go, but might see me there.
What about you, Shawn? Have you been to any of these events in person?
Yes. So before this podcast, I was like, I got to get the actual in-person experience. So I went to two of them. So first was, I think this is the first time I've seen a dating event hosted like at a coffee shop. So it was hosted by my friend Soon at Un Cafe. It was funny. He was approached by an event planner to like put this on, and he was a little hesitant because, with dating events, I think everybody is always a little bit careful with that kind of stuff. And he put it on and he did a speed dating event for about 45 people. And so basically, you give yourself a fun coffee nickname. Mine was like Ice Macho. I joined last minute. So like I took on some other guys and like they did like a survey. So I was matched with these like 5 people that like, you're speed dating with. So I think my experience was a little unique in the sense of like the person backed out last minute and I jumped in. But basically, you walk in, they have a little bit of like a social hour beforehand. And then when you go into your speed dating, you're spending 5 minutes with each person.
That's cool.
They have like a list of questions that they have in front. And if the conversation is awkward and, you just want to go through there, and then every 5 minutes you'll move on to the next person. So that was a pretty interesting event. And then after that, they just kind of did like an hour social hour. So that was pretty fun. And then the second event was actually like a pitch a presentation. So essentially you pitch yourself on a PowerPoint. You can either have a friend. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Oh, I saw this. Wasn't that at a bookstore?
It's been done at multiple places.
Okay.
The one that I went to was at the Decoy. It's like the volleyball court. So Marissa, who hosts Houston Hotspot events, she asked me, she's like, hey, she's like, we're looking for a special guest. Do you want to just pitch yourself? And I was like, sure. So I like made this whole PowerPoint and I pitched myself. Awesome. And that was a lot of fun. But I will admit, like, remember, you're doing this in front of like 100, 150 people. So it's a lot of pressure. And one thing that you realize when you're talking to people is people are nervous, like genuinely like nervous. I remember like I parked outside of Un Cafe and I walked in. And then like I was talking to a girl. I was like, oh, I saw you in the car, like, next to me. You parked next to me. And then I was like, I thought you left. And then she was like telling me, she's like, oh, I signed up for this dating event. But she said she was so nervous. She had like came and she literally left. And then she came back because she was uncertain, because it's, to be fair, you're putting yourself out there. And that's something that you're kind of hearing across everybody. It's like everybody's feeling a little anxious, a little nervous, which is, especially since this is a newer thing in Houston, especially for Gen Z and, millennials. They totally have a right to be just because, people I think are just trying to figure out what this concept is.
It's such a hard thing to put yourself out there. It's such a hard thing to pitch yourself. It's such a hard thing to be vulnerable. So I totally get it. And Shawn, I need to know what that opening slide was for your presentation when you pitched yourself.
So it's funny that they gave everybody like a template. I don't necessarily remember. It was pretty interesting. I tried to keep it as funny and as light as possible. I wasn't trying to be too serious with it. And that's how most people kept it. Like it was just fun. It was just fun. But it was definitely interesting because they said you could either pitch yourself or you can have a friend pitch you. And I was the only one pitching myself. So like when I first got there, I came to the realization and then so like one of my buddies, like who was there with me, he's like, dude, you want me to like pitch? I was like, I had no idea that I was like the only one pitching myself. So that was pretty interesting because I consider myself a pretty good salesman. So I was like, oh, why not? Why don't I just do it? But I guess I was the only one.
Hey y'all, I want to tell you about the newest exhibition at the Holocaust Museum Houston. It's called Growing Up Jewish, Art and Storytelling, and it starts September 19th. It explores the key people, experiences, and community that shaped artist Jacqueline Cott Wall. The exhibit is a really interesting combination of paintings plus the artist's own narration. So you can see playful images of Jewish holidays, milestones, and so many other experiences, and read the artist's written reflections about being Jewish, from her grandmother's kitchen at Passover to summer camp. The exhibition is included with your general admission ticket to the Holocaust Museum Houston, so plan your visit now at hmh.org/growingupjewish. And don't forget, admission is free for everyone on Thursdays from 2 to 5 p.m. and always free for children and students through age 18 and college students with a valid student ID. You don't want to miss this moving journey through the eyes of a beloved artist. Head to hmh.org/growingupjewish to learn more.
Did you know that September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and kidney cancer is one of the most common types of childhood cancer? So, the Kidney Cancer Association is asking for your help to bring awareness and raise funds through a fun favor. Here it is. Get some chalk, go outside, and write messages of hope on a sidewalk. Yep, that's it. You can raise awareness by chalking up your sidewalk. And be sure to tag the Kidney Cancer Association on social media so they can share your messages of hope with others. And if you can, donate at chalkyourwalk.org so we can raise funds for research. Now's the time to get outside and start drawing so we can come together to fight pediatric kidney cancer. Learn more at chalkyourwalk.org. That's chalkyourwalk.org. For me, evenings are a blur. Between dropping off my daughter to her various activities and squeezing in a pickleball session, for me, it's nonstop. And I'll just be honest, with all that running around, I do get hungry, and I'm usually thinking about picking up fast food, and I don't want that. So, you know what I'm doing now? I'm grabbing my Huel Black Edition powder, spelled Huel. Their Black Edition powder is a complete meal that I just shake up and get 40 grams of plant-based protein and 27 essential vitamins and minerals at just $3 per meal. And just when you thought Huel had everything covered, they just dropped a first-of-its-kind Super Greens drink in a can. It's called the Huel Daily Greens Ready to Drink. Forget powders, forget pills. This is your daily greens with a sparkling and refreshing twist, and ready whenever you are. Try Huel with 15% off for new customers today using my code Houston at HUEL.com/Houston. That's Huel.com/Houston. Fuel your best performance with Huel today. So since you've been attending these in-person events, Shawn, is there anything you've noticed that they are missing or struggling with?
So one of the things that I want to talk about is that these dating events actually have problems getting men. Like you would think it would be, maybe an opposite effect, like they would have trouble getting women. No, all these dating event organizers that you talk to, them getting men is just difficult.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's just, that's one thing that I want to point out. Like if you're a guy, like honestly, the ratio is just, way more geared towards women than it is to men.
Yeah, I always wonder about that because I feel like in the past when I've gone to dating events, that's kind of also been what I observed, that there's always more women than men. And as a woman, I can't answer the question as to why that is, but I wonder why more men aren't turning out for these events. Like maybe they think kind of like what you said, that maybe there would be just more men there and they're going to have to be like in competition. But I just wonder about that because I feel like for the women, the reason why there are so many women there, just because I think we just want to put ourselves out there and I think are kind of, I wouldn't say more adventurous, but just maybe just see these opportunities more on social media and are just kind of like, okay, well, I'll try that. Why not?
That's a good way. Yeah, more comfortable with it as well. Okay, this might be a wild question, but would y'all ever try those shows like the Pop the Balloon show or any Netflix dating shows? Would y'all do that?
No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Okay. I love watching them, but I couldn't do it. Pop the Balloon specifically, it's just so funny to watch the clips on social media, but I couldn't do it, y'all.
Yeah, that one's crazy because there's like a group of people with a balloon and then somebody walks in and they will pop the balloon or keep the balloon based on that person's physical appearance at first. Like that's the initial thing.
Truly,
right?
yes.
Yeah, truly that. Yeah, that's a lot.
And what's so funny is sometimes like a guy, he'll come in and he may say something controversial based on one woman and then all the women will pop their balloon based on what he said. Because they're like, if he's saying that about her, then I'm popping my balloon because I don't want him to think that I'm cool with that.
That's crazy. I couldn't do that. That is so much. I want to end with this. Matchmakers. Okay. They've been around for a long time, right? I've ruined friendships because of matchmaking. Like when I've tried to step in and match two of my good friends, it just didn't work out. But I also saw that like now matchmaking is a big business. And there's this company in Houston that will make you fill out a 50-question form and gather all this data up and match you based on these data points. Have y'all tried any matchmaking services here locally?
No, but I will say, so when I was in my 20s, I went speed dating maybe once or twice. And as part of that, like, I guess they had a matchmaking service. And if you got good reviews in the speed dating, you could be put in a pool to be
Hold on. They
matched.
reviewed you?
Well, it's like the people, the who you
Okay.
match with. Like if you got a lot of matches or if people had nice things to say about you, then you could be put in this pool who actually use the matchmaking service and you could be set up on a date. So I was put in that pool and I went on maybe like 1 or 2 dates through the matchmaking service and the dates were okay. But I will say that's kind of cool. I mean, if someone's looking to do that,
Mhm.
they can go to My Cheeky Date and sign up for their speed dating. I did mine a long time ago, pre-pandemic time, but I do know that they still have matchmaking and they still have speed dating. So definitely a company to check out.
I actually tried to matchmake a couple friends a little while back, and did not end up well. like you said, Raheel, it just I did my best, and then it just made friendships on both sides a little hard. But on my end, I think there's a real opportunity for somebody to do this for Gen Z and early millennials. I think whoever can solve this dating problem with whatever unique company or in whatever unique way is going to make a lot of money, right? Because people are looking for solutions. I mean, Crush Club, just with that first again, getting 1,000 people, you're seeing there's this massive demand for it. And I know we really haven't touched on it too much, but like run clubs as well, right? Like there's a massive reason why run clubs are on the rise. Now, there is a, internal joke like on social media that if you go to a run club, you're basically single. Like, what are you doing going to a run club if you're not single? That's like a joke. But, but,
so true.
but it's, there's definitely a lot of opportunity. I think, I'm really interested to see what'll happen in the next coming years because people are craving that in-person, dating connection.
And I will say, I have friends, matchmaking still happens, y'all. People get married. I have friends that have been matchmaked. I've had a friend, her mom matchmaked her with her now husband. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's the old school way.
Yeah.
That's what my mom used to do. She would try to match me up with people from our mosque all the time. And I mean, like literally she'd be like, hey, how about this one? Or how about this girl? And I'm like, Mom, I'm 22. Like, let me live. Like, let me relax. Yeah.
No, but it does happen. And so I will say,
it still
like,
does. That's good.
I think, that's sometimes one of the best ways. Like, your friends know you, your family knows you. And I've seen beautiful love stories unfold. So I think in-person stuff like that is still happening.
Well, y'all, I am so excited that everyone is going out and meeting people in real life through these clubs, through these connection events. This is great to see, and wishing everyone out there, especially y'all too, the best out there in this crazy city that we live in. And here's to love, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me and being so open about everything.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, fun podcast.
That was Shawn the Food Sheep. You can follow his adventures on Instagram with a link in our show notes. And Brooke Lewis, editor of Hey Houston, which you need to subscribe to ASAP so you can find great events across H-Town, as well as stay in the know without being overwhelmed by the news. Now, do your single friends a favor and share this episode with 3 of them who want to meet new people in Houston. And please rate or review the podcast wherever you listen. And finally, help us keep making the show by becoming a CityCast Houston neighbor for just $10 a month at membership.citycast.fm. Thanks. That will do it for today. I'm Raheel Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and I hope you're lucky in love.
It's not that you can't find, of course, this is when my voice goes out. Okay.